Welcome to another episode of Patrick Draws. My name is Patrick, and I'm here to help you learn how to draw using basic shapes. Today's suggestion was submitted by Lorrie. She wanted me to draw a shark. So I decided why not draw Lenny from A Shark's Tale. So let's get into it. So looking at this image of Lenny here, what I see initially is a bunch of triangles. There's triangles all over the place. So I'm trying to visualize what basic shapes that I can see. But before I get to the triangles, the basic shape of the head is relatively a circle here. So actually, let me bring my brush size down a little bit. And something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and just still do my cross lines. And instead of doing like that, where the eyes might go, the eyes are way up here. So that's by moving that horizontal line on the head, they've given this character a different facial features than, say, a human by raising the eyes almost to the top of the head, whereas our eyes are right in the center from the chin to the top of the head. So I'm going to put that line in there, and then I might even do a little quick shear shape for the mouth. Now, let's throw in a basic, almost like a potato shape here for the body. Just a nice oval there. And that's just going to give us I'm going to do a little cleaner one here. That's going to give us our basic shape there for the body. And now I'm really seeing triangles everywhere. So like from here to here to here, I'm seeing a triangle, and I'm seeing a triangle here. Again, we're not dealing with this curve yet, but just the overall shape here, I'm seeing a triangle here. This right here portion of the arm is a triangle. Here's a couple of triangles right here, kind of like a design on the chest. And let's see, so this, not really a triangle, more of a rectangle, but it does have a slight angle where, as if it kept going, it would be a triangle there. But I'm going to do this, erase that, go back to my brush. I do see a triangle here. Something like that, another triangle here, another triangle here, triangle here, triangle here, and even a triangle here on the tip of the tail. So just by putting in these basically triangles everywhere, we've gotten the overall proportions to the body figured out. So at this stage, I may even want to go in and just start doing my clean drawing. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got my drawing over here on the right, and I've lowered the opacity a little bit so I can see both my shapes and the drawing at the same time. And we're going to use this to do our own drawing here. Now, what I'm also seeing here as an overall arc to this character is kind of going like that. So it's almost like a center line going from the head to the tail, going through the body. So I can almost do something like that over here to help me get my own, to keep my own center line proportions, and that's going to help me get started of where to place. For instance, let's do the circle for the head. So I know that that's going to place something like that, maybe a little smaller. So by drawing our shapes, we're getting our proportions before we get into the detail of the drawing itself. Now, remember our little oval potato shape here? That's cutting through the circle that I've got for the head, somewhere around here. And then it's ending somewhere around here. So I know I need to go from here to here with an oval shape. So let's go ahead and just do that. And it's not a perfect oval. We're really just getting our proportions figured out. And let's go ahead and do this triangle here, which kind of cuts in. And then it's going to go to this point here at the end of our arc that we've given ourselves. So there's a triangle. And let's go ahead and do this back triangle, which comes out right about here. Maybe a little bit bigger, something like that. Now we're going to come back and make this arc here, but right now I just want to place in our shapes to get us started. Now this arm, it kind of does something like that. So let's throw in our little rectangle here, and then another little shape here, and then actually I don't like that one. Let's do that one again. Something like that. And then a little triangle like that. Let's go ahead and do the tail real quick here. So we know that we've got one going that way and one going that way, something like that. And so let's go ahead and make that triangle here, that triangle there. I may even throw in this little triangle there, something like that. And you can see, actually, the angle on that is a little off. Something like that. Let's get this arm in here. And you can see that the tip is breaking out from the oval shape here. So I know that I need to have that come out to about there. Something like that. And then I'm going to do that triangle there. And then I had a little triangle here, and that's kind of showing us that. Let me zoom in there. This little portion of the design from the black and the white on his skin. And again, that's the detail that we'll get into later. But I think I've gotten a pretty good start on the angle of the body, the arc here, the proportions of the head, the body, the tail, and all of the arms and everything are placed pretty well. So at this point, let's go ahead and zoom in on the head a little bit. And I'm going to throw in a little line here for where those eyes need to fall. And the eyes are very far out here on that line. And this eye actually breaks the oval. So we want to make sure that we get that placement right. I'm going to go ahead and throw in, which is basically a smile, which if you think about it, could be two triangles. One there and then one there. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it with our triangle theme here. And even the nose, I'm seeing somewhat of a triangle there going from each eye to that center arc line is kind of where it joins. And that, it's not really a triangle, but it's giving us the shape that we need, that we know is going to form that nose. And even if you look right here, could be a little triangle coming out to form that. So, you know, this character, I'm just seeing triangles all over the place. And if you can draw a triangle, then that will help us draw Lenny. So I probably made the head a little bit too fat here on the side. So if I wanted to redraw that, I might just erase it. I'm not a huge fan of erasing stuff, but I just like to draw over things. So then I'm going to start connecting things. So I'm going to connect the head to the body here. Same thing over here. See how there's a line that goes like right there. Kind of hard to see. And again, this side of the head might be a little bit too big, so I might bring that down just a little bit. And then I'm going to connect that, something like that. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and start working on a little bit of the details. So I know that we've got this arc going right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do my little arc there and then kind of finish that up there. Something like that. Again, this does the same thing. We've kind of got that little curve underneath the fin there. Something like that. Smooth this out a little bit. And there's a little bit of a curve here too. So by using our triangles as a guide, we can kind of add some curves and get that natural, another little curve in here. Nature's full of arcs and curves, but we can use our shapes as a guide to get us started. And what I might do at this point, let me zoom out a little bit. I might take away our red drawings real quick here. So let me do that. I'm going to pull up the opacity on this guy a little bit. And see, he's already coming together, and we really haven't done all that much except for pay attention to our proportions and placement of our triangles and circles and ovals. So we're getting to the point now where I might want to start getting into the detail. And to do the detail, I'm probably going to want to create a new layer. But before I do that, I'm going to just try and put in a little bit of these to show where the black and the white on the character division is. So from the bottom of this fin to the top of this fin, there's kind of a little line there. So I'm going to put that in. And then we've kind of got something like that. So I'm going to just do something similar. I forgot this triangle here. So let's throw that in. And let's see here. You know what I might do is go ahead and just kind of quickly shade this in. And I'm going to grab like a gray instead of this black to do this. And the reason I want to do this is just to show, if I color in real quick here, the areas that need color, in this case the black color of the top, the back of the shark here, it's going to show real quickly. It's going to fill out and make the forms show before we get into the detail. And I just want to do this real quick. Normally I might not do this, but just to show, just by adding a little bit of shading or a little bit of color here, that the drawing can really start coming together. And let's take a quick look at that. And let me go back to my black. So if I zoom out a little bit, I mean, if you squint at it, it almost could be a finished drawing. Where obviously we need to clean it up a little bit, but we've gotten pretty close just by doing some basic stuff here. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer on top of this one I've been working on. I'm going to call this cleanup. So now I'm gonna pull down the drawing we've just worked on, the opacity, because I'm gonna use this as a guide to do my cleanup drawing. And when you're working digitally, you just use layers. If you're working on with pen and paper or pencil and paper, you can just get some tracing paper and put it on top. And I used to work that way a lot growing up. So let's go ahead and start cleaning up our shark here. And we want to also, as we're doing this, we want to reference the original drawing. There's nothing wrong with looking at something when you're learning to draw it. If you've drawn something enough times, then you won't need the reference. But references, all professional artists use reference. If they tell you that they don't, they're probably lying, because you don't know what everything looks like until you've drawn it a bunch of times. So in my case, I don't draw a lot of sharks, and especially I don't draw this Lenny shark all the time, so I need reference to look at. Plus, it helps us learn why the decisions I make as I'm doing them. So let's work on the head here. So this is not a perfect circle that I'm doing for the eye, but what I want to do is just get going here on some of my detail work. And again, I'm using this underdrawing to help me decide where to place my lines. Because these are my finished lines, and if I were really doing this professionally, I'd probably be using a more precise drawing pen than this. This doesn't have any thick to thin. It's just a nice flat line. Nothing wrong with that, but just something to keep in mind here. Something like that, and then I might just do a little bit of cross hatching to kind of show where that nose is. Again, we're taking a 3D image and turning it into a 2D drawing. So it's not going to be a perfect copy or replica, but we're going to get pretty close. So let me zoom in a little more on these teeth. You can see we've got some triangles. So I'm just going to start. I'm not going to try and do this perfectly. I'm just going to make sure I get a few little triangles in here to represent the teeth. And you can see that there's a little bit less on the bottom. And then I might just fill that in with black, actually. So I'm going to do that right now. And then the chin here, I might just draw a couple of lines representing. Looks like the gills are right around here. So I might draw some line work in there to represent those. As we work our way down here, I'm just basically tracing with the clean line over the lines I've already drawn here. And I'm as I'm drawing my own drawing, I'm looking at my under reference drawing, and I'm also looking at the original. So your eyes are kind of bouncing back and forth as you're doing your cleanup drawing here. And something like that. And then we'll that, and then this line comes up. We've got our little, and let's see, this arm is a little interesting, something like that. And now at this point, what I might want to do is start filling in. I'll just use my bucket tool and just start filling in some of the black areas real fast. And again, as I zoom out, he's starting to come together. So I want to make sure I fill in with white here. So let me grab like a white and fill in with my paint bucket some of the white areas here. So if I decide to put a background on him, we can see that. We can see him coming through. And I'm going to just quickly color this in and take a look at our finished drawing. So I just added a little bit of green and red into the face here. Now, as I'm looking at my overall drawing here, I'm pretty happy with it. If you have something you want me to draw, just leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of Patrick Draws. My name is Patrick. I'll see you next time.